Hello and welcome back to the Forager Chick channel. Today I'm going to make something amazing for you. It's going to be fried oyster mushrooms. Oyster mushroom french fries basically is what I'm making. They're kind of like a cross between a french fry and an onion ring, and they're so delicious. But first I got to show you my cool shirt that I got for Christmas this year. And you guys know that I am a canner. I love to can. And I also have a really cool oyster mushroom recipe for you that involves canning. It's pickled oyster mushrooms. And I have that video. I'll put it up here for you guys so you can check it out. I'm going to make this really cool recipe in just a minute. So I will be right back. Well, hello again. And let's get started right away with this amazing recipe. But first, I have to tell you what I did. Yesterday and today, I've been hunting oyster mushrooms. Not hunting them, I was out actually hiking and I come across a mother load of oyster mushrooms. This is just half of them, or I should say a third of them, because a friend of mine went with me, and so she got a whole bunch and I got a whole bunch, and then I went back today with my husband and we got some more. So aren't they gorgeous? So of the little ones, I'm going to save. I love the babies, the younger ones. Isn't this cluster? This is one whole cluster. Holy mackerel. But these I'm going to save and I'm going to pickle them because I love to pickle. And like I said, I'll put that recipe up here for you guys, and you'll get to see that too. But today, with the oyster fries, I'm going to show you a couple of things first before I get to frying them. So I took the larger ones, the bigger ones like this, and I've already washed them because oyster mushrooms always have grit and stuff on them. I already washed them up. But then what I'm going to do is I have a bowl here full of salted water, just cold water. You don't want hot water. And I've been cutting them into little strips, and so that they are like little french fries or little onion rings. But these are so delicious. And usually I'll just eat them and dip them in ketchup or dip them in ranch dressing. But today I thought I'd like to make some little tacos with them. How does that sound? Crunchy little oyster mushroom tacos. And you don't need as many as you think you need. Like, I'm going to have way too many here. I'm probably going to have a whole lot of leftovers. The original recipe came from Olga, my friend over at Mushroom Mountain, and she came up with this recipe, and it's in the Wild Eating with the Forager Chicks cookbook because she was so kind to share it with us. But it's so stinking easy to make, and I really think that's enough. So I'm going to squish these around in here just for a little bit, and then I'm going to let this sit for about 10 minutes because if you've been following me on here before, you've heard this spiel, but oyster mushrooms tend to have little critters in there, and I don't want the extra protein. No, thank you. So I'm going to let them float out of there, and then we'll dry them briefly. I'll put them in the egg and put them in the flour, and we'll fry them. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. I am back. All right, so what we do now is we take the mushrooms out to let them dry. You're not going to take this whole bowl and go drain it, because when you do that, all the junk goes right back into the mushrooms. So you basically just squish them around, squish, squish, squeeze them out. Oh no, it sounds crazy. Squeeze them out, put them in some paper towels. Do that again. Get as much water as you can out of it, even though it's going to be soaking for a second in the egg and milk. We don't want to go ahead and do too much water in there. Wait till you see what this water looks like. All right. Look at this. Look at that water. It's disgusting, isn't it? Pretty gross, huh? But anyway, don't just like throw this out. Go ahead and water some plants with it at all. But if you look at the very bottom, you can't see the whole bottom. There's like little floaty things in there. We don't want those floaty things. So that's going to go away. And now we're going to take our little mushrooms. Don't they look beautiful? I'm going to turn the heat on our pot while we're going to bread them and stuff. So I'm going to put it on like medium to medium high. That'll take just a few minutes. I have some sunflower oil in there. Love sunflower oil. So I put that in there and we'll just fry it up. You can use whatever oil you have. And then I have 2 eggs right here. We're just going to whisk those up. 2 farm fresh eggs. And I'm going to put just a little bit of milk. I'm using coconut milk. You could use whatever milk you have. Just a little bit. This isn't a very strong coconut milk, so it won't add too much coconutty flavor. Okay. And then once the egg is all mixed up and everything's all uniform, you just take your little mushrooms, put them all in there. Well, they're probably not all gonna fit. They might. They might. Why not? We're just gonna squish them all in there. Get them all nice and eggy and gooey. And then we're going to put the seasoning in. So put that all in there. And then we're going to take our flour that we have right here. It says all-purpose flour. And I'm going to put in some paprika. I mean, I know a lot of people do season their flour and do it that way. You could either season the mushrooms first, you could season it after in the egg, or you can go ahead and season it in the flour. Some pink salt, and then we're also going to salt these when they come out of the fryer. And some black pepper. I'm just going to use that same fork. Mix it all up. Oops, drop some on the floor. Let's put a little piece in there, test the oil. Almost. It's about to sizzle. You want your oil to be really hot, because if you put your mushrooms in there and oil's not hot enough, it's just going to be a muddy mess, because the flour's just going to come right off of the mushrooms, and you want it to sizzle as soon as you put one in there. So we'll test it in a minute. I'm going to take some of these mushrooms, just a few this time. I'm going to scoot them in here in the flour. Let me test one. Put it in there, a little piece, little tiny piece. It's not ready yet, so we're going to give it just a minute. Okay, I think the oil is hot enough now. We're going to take a little mushroom pieces, drop it in the oil here to sizzle. That's good. I think it should be just a little bit hotter. Turn it up. Put a couple more in here. This is so good, you guys. I swear. And if you have tried this before, please let me know in the comments if you've fried your mushrooms before. Because you know in the South, we fry everything. And oyster mushrooms too. There, that's the sizzle I want to hear. Ooh. Now you don't want to crowd your pan, so you're going to have to do this in batches. We'll see how many are going to fit. Maybe a few more pieces. I'll let you see it in a minute. Get a little close up. And we'll put some more in the flour. Oh gosh, I can't wait to have this taco. I mean, it's kind of late for lunch. Well, no, it's about lunchtime for me. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But by the time I get done with all this, it might be more like 1:30, 1:45. But we're going to have leftovers. You can see this is going to make a whole ton. Now, when you're frying them, you don't need very much time in there. It's only going to take maybe 3 minutes at most per side. And then you're going to flip them around. As soon as they get nice and golden, we'll flip them around. Nice. They're getting out. They're getting really good. Let me let you take a closer peek at it. Look at that. Ooh. Looking good. So we need them golden brown. You know when you fry stuff, sometimes the first batch that you fry is not always as good. This first batch is about ready to come out. Let me get the last of these in the flour, and I'll move this aside. Look at that. You just squish it all around. See that? Doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, move that out of the way. I am going to go wash my hands real quick, and then I'll be right back. They look so good. That's what I'm talking about. Second batch is going much quicker than the first. Although some of the second ones have stuck together. That's okay though, right? Let's get those. Getting away from me. But when they first come out, of the fryer, like this, look at them. You want to sprinkle them with a little bit of salt. Because I know we put salt in the seasoning, but you want to put it on top of anything that's fried when it comes out of the fryer. So we got our next batch about to come out. We'll get a few of these guys. There we go. Oh, these are nice and crunchy looking. Oh my word. So you saw the pile of mushrooms we had, but did they like grow or something? I don't know what it is. Like they get bigger. It's not like we put a ton of flour on there. It's kind of funny. I think it is. All right, I think we have one more batch to do after this. One more, and then we'll taste them. Wish you were here with me. I know you guys would love this. I hope you're going to find some mushrooms. Because you know, this time of year, it's December, right before Christmas. In the South, we start to find lion's mane, enoki mushrooms, and oyster mushrooms. And the oyster mushrooms are pretty prevalent, you know, in the wintertime, more so than in the summertime. I like the winter oyster mushrooms better. They're just a little bit meatier and they're more plentiful. So you're not going to starve if you're out there in the woods looking for something to eat. Okay, this is the last batch. I'm going to let this cook, and then we'll be back in a few moments. Last batch coming out of the fryer. I cannot wait. These are going to be amazing. I did already taste one because, you know, quality control here. So good. Gonna sprinkle them with a little salt before I make them into tacos. Let's turn the heat off. Put a little bit more salt on there. Look at those. Look at those oyster fries. Don't they look fabulous? Let's go make a taco. I'm ready for my taco. So, let's go. What should we put on there first? I think I'm going to do some of this garlic hummus. I'm going to put that on there first. Squish it all around. Then come the oyster mushrooms. I have a very big tortilla here. So good. I think that's enough, don't you? All right. And guacamole, because you can't have a taco without guacamole. Put some on there. Come on, guacamole. And some on there. If I would have had a whole avocado, I would have chopped it up and put it on there. A little bit of mango salsa. What's your favorite kind of salsa? Well, actually, it's mango peach. Mango and peach. I didn't even taste it first to see if it was hot. A little kick. And my very own turkey tail hot sauce. Put a little bit squirt on that. Last but not least, cilantro. I know you either love it or hate it. I love it. I can eat it on anything. So, isn't that a thing of beauty? Let's eat it and try it out. Hopefully, I could roll this closed. Here goes. Oh my God. The crunch of the mushrooms mixed with the creaminess of the avocado, guacamole, and the hummus. I'm not going to be able to stop stuffing my face here. If you were here with me, you'd be sitting over there in those chairs too. I mean, who would have thought oyster mushrooms could be this amazing? Fried. Listen to the crunch. Crazy. Yep. Good stuff. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Wild Eating with the Forager Chick. I've enjoyed hanging out with you. And you guys, I hope you have a great holiday. I'm going to go back to eating my little taco here. Have a wonderful day.